The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to
Ob wir da jetzt überhaupt noch ein anderes Ende kriegen oder sowas?
to find out.
Weiß es gar nicht. Stopp! 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 Stopp, stopp, stopp. Ich hoffe, ich war nicht zu schnell jetzt schon. Stopp! Stopp, stopp, stopp! Aber da kommt doch noch ein anderer Raum, wo die alle an sind, oder kommen? Oder? Weil das Eisen geht, das sich gleich schließen wird, kannst du da rausgehen. Ist da vorne, meinst du jetzt, was da als nächstes kommt? Also bei der nächsten Plattform dann, sobald ich auf der Plattform bin, wieder zurück. Richtig? Ja, okay. Das war zu schnell. War zu schnell. Schließt sie wahrscheinlich erst, wenn ich da drauf bin. Nein! War zu langsam. Boah, das ist aber schwer.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And
verkackt.
Stanley, one of them, eternally
voll verkackt.
In this place where freedom meant nothing.
Jo, was von verkackt. Ich schau, wie es nicht nimmt.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
Beschwert sich der Erzähler dann wahrscheinlich wieder, oder? Was machst du?
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Reguläre hatte ich schon, ja.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Aber mir fehlt hier gerade ein Raum. Ich bin gerade ein bisschen verwirrt. Da war doch eigentlich so ein Raum, wo du da durchlaufen musstest. Ah, der kommt jetzt, okay. Und am Ende von dem Raum gab es doch die Entscheidung, ob ich den Strom abstelle oder nicht, oder?
Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working.
Da drin, da habe ich doch 2 Knöpfe und ich habe bisher nur einen gedrückt.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Ja, stopp, stopp, stopp. Ich irre schon extra rum. Wie viele verschiedene Farben die haben? Rot, blau, grün, gelb, lila. Lila. Das ist eine Art Treppenhaus. Du hast das hier, aber hier ist zu, wie es scheint. Da ist zu. Dann haben wir das. Da geht es nicht weiter, würde ich sagen. Schwierig ohne Licht, ne? Das ist zu. Kann auch sein, dass wir. Ja, wir gucken einfach mal kurz. Aber ich glaube eher weniger. Nee. Auch nirgends lang. Gut. Würde da jetzt reingehen? Und dann nehmen wir nämlich den anderen Knopf. So der Plan.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, You didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley.
Muss ich gehen?
I applaud your effort, I really
Muss ich
do.
gehen?
But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example,
What's up?
and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say,
Aber ich komme wieder nichts raus. 2 Minuten.
Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame
oh Gott, wir müssen auf der Reihe. Aber ich weiß sogar, wo die sind.
Mere moments until the bomb goes off.
Muss ich mit der 1 anfangen oder mit 5? Schon mit der 1.
More time to talk about you,
1.
about me, where we're going.
3.
What all this means. I barely know where to start.
Die 3.
What's that?
Die 3.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Die 3.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated.
Das ist die
All
5.
right, I'm in a good mood.
Das wird nix.
You're gonna
Das
die
wird nix.
anyway.
Das wird
I'll
nix.
tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you
3.
free.
Wo ist die 4
Of
war
course,
oben?
that was merely in this instance
3.
of the story.
Klappt das
Sometimes when I
überhaupt?
tell
Oder hätte ich
it,
von
I
5
simply let
zählen
you
müssen?
sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much.
Schade.
You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Sold? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this
Es bringt halt alles nichts. Aber überall ist der 4er abgebildet, aber 4 habe ich auch schon gedrückt.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count.
Bye.
Or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Du meinst die rote Tür, wenn man von dem Lift runterspringt, ne? Die meinst du? Aber was meinst du mit dem ersten Büro versuchen zu springen?
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Stopp. Ja. Wäre zu weit, hätte ich in meinem Büro bleiben müssen.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ups. Entschuldigung, ausgeschaltet. Ich würde mir gerne einen Bleistift nehmen, einen spitzen Bleistift und die Ballons kaputt machen. Dann. Ah, okay, warte mal. Hier. Ja. Nee. Und crouchen, warte mal. Boah, hier ist kein Lüftungsschacht oder so. Mit den Ballons hier los. Aber offen ist hier nichts, oder? Hab ich da gerade hoch?
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Nein. Der Schuss reagiert vielleicht aufs Mikro, aber... Ja, und jetzt? Achso, man könnte auch einfach hinlaufen.
Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Ernsthaft? Der lässt mich jetzt allein auf immer und ewig? Müssen wir wahrscheinlich nur starten, ne? Okay. Also es ist echt angenehm hier jetzt mit dem Kühlding, muss ich sagen. Auch nicht mal heiß. So, jetzt müssen wir es aber nochmal machen und zu Ja gehen, oder?
What could it mean?
Oder lohnt sich das nicht?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
A
No
memo.
matter how hard Stanley looked, He couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in?
Okay, redet das gleiche. Ich hätte gedacht, geht drauf ein, dass wir schon
waren. Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also...
Ja, mach ich doch. Ist okay. Gut. Jetzt gehen wir noch zur roten Tür, oder? Und dann...
He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others. So the thought of total solitude was terrifying.
Ja, Entschuldigung.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
this was not
the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first.
Ich frage mich, wie viel Prozent dieses Games ich überhaupt schon gesehen habe.
Majestic, perhaps too much. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Das würde mich mal interessieren.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you
Und leider schon Juli.
70
bis 80 habe ich gesehen. Okay, das ist ja schon mal gar nicht so schlecht. Finde ich.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are
you
that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important.
Ich will durch die rote Tür mit den Blinklichtern, okay? Durch die rote mit den Blinklichtern.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy.
No.
I actually feel happy.
What?
No, wait. Where are you going?
Naja, ja. Boah, wenn ich die Planten so sehe, da muss ich echt dran denken, wie wir die an die Decke gemacht haben. Oh, das war so anstrengend. Warum sind die hier an der Wand?
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Wieso soll ich an der Treppe sterben? Ach Quatsch, das passiert doch. Magst du die Treppen gleich benutzen, nachdem er so patzig war? Ach komm, die hebt schon, oder?
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Wieso denkt er denn? Also, hier passiert doch nichts. Alles prima. Oh. Oh.
Please,
Oh.
Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Ja, aber ich habe ja keinen anderen Ausweg. Also die Tür. Die geht bestimmt nicht auf. Sagt auch nichts, wenn ich wieder runtergehe. Okay, wir springen jetzt, ja? Oder? Ja, wir springen jetzt. Geronimo!
No! Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Ja, na klar. Das sieht nicht mehr so gut aus.
There. See? This is what you want.
Ja, aber
This
das
is
ist rot.
where we can both
Das ist ja
be
rot.
happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Seele humpelt. Okay, wir sollen hier bleiben. 4 Stunden wieder? Ja. Richtig schön bunt. Zeit für die Treppe. Willst du nochmal springen? Sollen wir nochmal springen? Oh, wie schön. Ist voll schön. Schön. Wird bestimmt noch bunter, wenn wir nochmal springen, ha?
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this. No.
Das ist schon mies, oder?
No, no.
Das ist
What are you
schon
doing?
mies.
Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Entschuldigung. Bin voll da. Okay. Diesmal machen wir es rückwärts.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Na klar. Mir geht's gut. Oh, guck mal hier. Schön.
Yes. Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about. I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Ich kann hier aber auch nicht happy sein. Die Treppe. Okay. Okay. Hab verstanden.
No, perhaps not. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game?
Das tut mir
You'll throw
voll
yourself from this platform
leid,
over
ne?
and over to be rid of it?
So
You're
leid.
literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along.
Oh, der
I guess
Arme.
that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Gemein.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Alter Schwede. Okay, geht's wieder gut, oder? Erzähler? Ich wollte jetzt eigentlich ausmachen, aber...
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
ich
he
dachte
entered the
gerade.
door on his left.
Ich dachte schon, aber er ist wieder da. Alles ist wieder gut. Er ist da. Gut. Dann machen wir jetzt Feierabend, würde ich sagen.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.